And we're live!
Cool.
Yeah, yeah.
If I sound different this week, it's because a friend of mine, his woman, is now making homemade soap, and I've been showering with coconut oil charcoal soap. So,
oh, nice.
So she make you sound different?
Your skin is...
Yeah, I just sound cleaner and stuff.
And your skin is extra smooth.
On my skin.
And your skin's extra smooth.
Yeah, exactly.
That's awesome. That rolls us right into a hot topic right off the top.
There you go.
Yeah, skin. See, like, I minimally shower, okay? My Indian blood, I don't really sweat like other people, so I don't, like, in a given day, I don't sweat. Unless I'm out laboring, I don't break a sweat. So if I don't actually labor and break a sweat and get dirty and filthy, I try to avoid washing my skin. I still do the ball and nut wash in the sink, that kind of thing with a washcloth and, my pits or whatever, but I'll avoid like a full body shower because, and honestly, science says it's true that our skin, like part of our biological health on our skin is the biolife that lives there. And all the soaps and chemicals that we put on our skin by showering so much day after day after day when it's unnecessary is killing a lot of the good bacteria off your skin, and you're more ample to get colds and other shit.
Skin
infections and rashes but I call the little guys my midichlorians.
Oh.
That's, it makes me at one with the force.
But you also don't stink.
But I don't stink. Yeah, I mean, my Indian blood, I'm really lucky. I mean, most of the European Americans are kind of freaking cursed, dude, because I've worked with some dudes that just sweat while they're standing there. But, yeah, that's not my case. I'm a pretty dry guy. The only thing is, living in Missouri, it's so humid here, dude, that, like, just in the 10 years I've lived here, it's gone from, like, sucking the liquid out of you, like being in a steam bath, to sucking the liquid out of you like you're a sponge that's being squeezed by SpongeBob. That's what the humidity has evolved to in the last 10 years here. So, like, literally, I've sat on the porch in the heat of summer in my underwear and was breaking a sweat, not moving. But that has nothing to do with my biology. That has to do with the environment here. When it's like that, I do take showers.
But you still don't stink.
But, yeah, well...
You don't smell like B.O.
Yeah,
I have never had you smell like B.O. Stinky butt, maybe?
Yeah, my farts stink like a fucking hell. Like a hell, brother! Something you would put a man's nose under to torture him for 1,000 years. This is my arse. At 2 in the morning.
Wow.
I find it's pizza mainly.
And cereal.
And cereal, yeah. Hey, Chad's in the chat. Welcome, Chad. What's up, man? Thanks for being here.
Who's Chad?
Chad Huffman.
Hey, Chad.
I used to work with him back in the day at Hewlett Packard. And
okay, cool.
He since then has moved on to California. He was there to help out with his family and so forth for, I don't know, I think it was like 5...
It's been a while.
5 years now. And then he just traveled back here. And in the interim, he got into making music, and he plays guitar and sings, man. It's not bad shit, actually. I'm hoping he comes down here and visits me soon so we can, try to get even better recordings for him or something.
Hint,
I don't know. Hint.
So, whatever happened to that guy from Maine that was a buddy of yours that added me to Facebook that had tattoos all over his face and big loops in his ears?
Oh, Joey B. Bizzle.
Oh.
Okay, here, let me fill you in on Joey B. Bizzle, okay? When did I meet Joey B? I met Joey B on the streets of the north side of Portland Peninsula, dude. Like, total street shit. Like, that's where I met this cat, along with some other cats, obviously. But this group of people that I hung with, I kind of felt like we were the Fat Albert crew. You get what I'm saying? Like, we were those kids that were, like, always together in a pack, you know, and, like, looked out for each other and that kind of thing. But anyway, Joey B was the I have friends because I beat them into being my friends guy.
Oh, yeah, I got you.
Yeah. So once you know that formula, you're like, oh, okay, I get it now.
Yeah. That guy was different.
Joey B and I had the same friends. My friends were my friends because of, you know, like, the general, like, environment that I tried to make sure was stable around me, right? People were Joey B's friends because he either beat their ass and they became friends after the fact, or he beat someone's ass that was trying to beat their ass. So it was like, he was like a strong armor kind of friend. And that's not the terms that I met him under, of course, for myself. He was actually like a comrade or like an equal that came and chilled at our chill spot. And he was one of the main characters, you know, because he would show up, dude. There would be a party or something at our house, and we had a communal house. It was like, you go up the stairs from the front porch. Imagine a big Victorian house, right?
Yeah.
The downstairs floor was one apartment, right? The middle was a door, and you enter that door, and there was a stairway that went up, which was ours and secured. You could only get in if you lived there. And you go up that center staircase, and you were in our apartment, basically, which was the top 2 floors. So we had a bedroom to the right, a bedroom to the left, the kitchen, which opened out onto a back deck, which was fucking amazing, bro. Like, the deck was a story above the ground. It was fucking sweet as hell. It was a communal house living situation. So, like, each person paid X amount of money per month for their room or their space that they were occupying. And we had about 12 people living in that 2-story apartment. And he would come there for parties and shit. And it was always crazy, dude, because the outside elements would come in. And, like, everybody that lived in the house obviously was the security of the house, so shit got weird. But if shit got weird, like, the house would pitch in on crowd control and all that shit. But Joey B would come there and cause disturbances all the time because he would run into some fucking cat that was avoiding him. Dude, I'm not even kidding you, bro. Like, he would corner him in my kitchen and shit and be like, what the fuck? You got a fucking problem? Blah, blah, blah.
Yeah.
Why you been dodging me? Why you been dodging me, bro? I feel like you're dodging me. Yeah, well, you weren't at blah, blah, blah the other day. That's where you always go. Why were you there? Like, dude, I was like, holy shit, he's like worse than a girlfriend. But I loved him to death, bro. He was like the core of the fucking fisticuff entertainment. He was fucking hardcore, bro. You know, it took 2 or 3 of us to keep him from going ballistic, you know, in some of our situations, which made for a good party environment because we had like a beast somewhat under control. It was, you know, it was a good time in my life, man. I had a lot of fun there. That was a good section of my history. But yeah, Joey B was the colorful, like, you know, you're my friend or you're my enemy kind of guy. And, you know, honestly, it helped protect a bunch of us in that group, him being that way. So, I don't know. It was... And you know, he's not that way anymore, though. Now he's got kids and he's got a job and, like, holding down shit and all that.
You had a job?
Yeah, he's been working for a while now.
Fuck, the last time I was talking to him, he was on welfare and proud of it and said he was never going to work.
What?
Well, the last time I talked to him, he told me I was a whore, so...
Well, I haven't talked to him.
Oh, that means he likes you.
You remember that? I blocked him. He attacked me.
Yeah, he did attack you.
He said some horrible
But that's
things.
Joey B, dude. He goes on these manic mental...
Yeah.
That's the thing, dude. I managed to... Okay, because of my mental problems throughout my life, I've always, like, tended to lean toward people that had quasi-mental problems, but they were controllable. And Joey B was one of those people, believe it or not. But, yeah, it was, like, his anger issues and all that kind of shit. And I tried to, like, help those people, like, through emulating, you know, through being friends with them and showing them that I'm mental and I fucking cope, you know. I'd like to fucking go into the mall and just fucking blow the place up. You know what I mean? Because, you know, money over flesh is not what I believe. But, you know, me blowing up one mall isn't going to change capitalism the way it is in the form it is today. Capitalism isn't bad, just like a gun isn't bad. It's in whose hands it's in, and we're not utilizing it correctly. So
how can you win against capitalism when you got a system where, okay, the president right now shoots off 200 million in fucking cruise missiles?
I didn't vote for his ass, you know, because that's my government, and they act without my authority. That's why. I don't believe what my government believes, you know. Although you did hear that he is attacking the this is the one thing I agree with Trump with recently. Actually, there's a couple things. One of them is this. It's the he's linking autism to the booster, the flu shots and shit, which, you know, I don't say all flu shots have that potential, but any flu shot has that potential if they're buying it from a third world country or from an industrial country that is our economic enemy. And they're buying this shit from China, who has already been caught putting oil into food products. I mean, and plastic and fucking wood shavings. So why wouldn't they fucking just give us ethanol in our fucking flu vaccine, you know? I mean, of course they would. They don't give a fuck. You know? So, you know, that's where that shit's coming from. And I don't believe it's all flu shots. I believe it's batches of flu shots that are coming from certain distributors. And you're taking a risk because you don't know where it's coming from. But I am not pro-Trump. I am the furthest thing from pro... Oh, wait. I'm supposed to be the protagonist. Man, I love Trump. Okay, listen. Okay, so Trump has like, dude, listen, okay?
I'm filing for divorce, right? We're not married yet.
We're not married yet. But there's probably some complication by now. We're common law, I'm sure. Anyway, so she's like, he just said I love Trump. There are people willing to shoot themselves to not say that, you know. For entertainment, the show must go on. Okay, there's got to be a protagonist. So here I am. Man, dude, okay. Yes, Trump is a bit misunderstood, okay? If you can just look outside of the misunderstoodness, okay, look at some of the deeper details. Okay, like the marvelous cabinet that he still hasn't filled. Okay, that's telling us, he's telling us right there. He's going, these were corrupt seats, and I refuse to refill them. I mean, he's really doing a thing for our country right now.
Is that what you think it is? Or do you think it's that his administration's mired so deep in a scandal right now that anybody that's half decent won't take these appointees because they're running away from him like he's a sinking ship?
Yeah, I think you would be more correct, but that doesn't work in my role of being the protagonist. So, he's got a plan, okay? This is another really good thing that I heard today, is that one of his agents went to China, and when he was in China, he managed to work out with the Chinese that they're going to just, they're gonna put the thumbs on North Korea and go, no more nuclear testing, or we're gonna cut off your oil. And that was actually stamped today. That's pretty fucking amazing and unexpected, honestly, from what I was expecting to happen with the meeting in China. But that was bizarre. So I'm sure there's some polluting contracts and industrial agreements that are behind that, but, whatever. They're polluting China. It's okay.
Well, China buys coal from North Korea, and that's pretty well North Korea's only export is coal to China and sex slaves. So,
well, man, they got the market cornered.
Yeah, and
here, get our sex slave, choke a coal, keep your
it
fire
can't be
warm.
coincidence that Trump and the
Keep your fire warm, wrong time, and woman, keep bed warm. Ha ha. $50.
it can't be a coincidence that Trump and the leader of China were meeting there over the weekend before all this happened, right? So, he was in the United States.
Now, Chad says he got the flu shot one time and got the flu. Okay.
Me too.
And the reason for that
Me too.
is that, listen, scientists have taken the theory that they've used through the discovery of snake bite venom and applied it to fucking everything. So they think if they take a fucking concentrate version of whatever the fuck it is that's going to kill you and inject you with it, it's not going to kill you or give you the flu. When in fact, no, they're fucking injecting you with it, you fucking morons. So, that's the whole thing about this vaccine shit, in my opinion. Okay, if somebody's injecting you with fucking the plague, you're going to get the fucking plague. It's not like you're going to, wow, I wafted right through that plague. I didn't even get a pock.
I thought I was going to die when I got my shot.
Oh my God, dude. I got those shots when I was a kid, and I got sick as fuck too. So, it's bullshit. It's pretty much like they're controlling when you're getting it so that you don't give it to someone else, is what I feel like.
They tell you after you had your flu shot,
don't go near people.
For like a week or 2 weeks. Don't go around anybody with a low immune system and shit.
Now, Chad's saying that since then he has not gotten a flu.
Well, I never had the flu prior to getting the flu shot, and I haven't had the flu since. I only got it when I got the shot.
Right. Nothing says love like pre-diamond and underage sex slaves. Oh my God. That was priceless, bro.
Although, I gotta say, what we might have had over Thanksgiving could have been the flu. Which would kind of scratch that. We haven't had the flu I haven't had the flu since I got my shot. Because that was pretty close to the flu.
For like a week.
Well, we were sick for 3 days.
All your bones ache and fucking...
No, it was like that.
Your joints, yeah.
And the whole body.
A lot of times people get a case of food poisoning and shit. And they're sick for a day or two, and they think they got the flu.
Well, no, there was no puking or shitting. This was body aches, snotting, coughing, sneezing. You would cough and then go, oh, after. Because it hurt so goddamn bad. And it was 3 days, and we woke up with it on Thanksgiving morning. And we had it for 3 days. And that's like the closest to flu that I've had since I've had the flu shot.
Chad Huffman needs to fucking take up stand-up comedy. He's on a fucking roll over here in the chat, bro. He posted that nothing says love like pre-diamond and underage sex slaves. He's all like, that's my Zales pitch. Oh my God. Pretty crazy. So, Bong, what do you got on your plate this week, man? What's been going on, brother?
Not a whole lot. Had my internet cut off for a couple of days last week.
I heard.
And got that straightened out.
I need to give you my phone number, bro.
And, everything was cut off. It's all the same bill. So, phone, TV, and internet.
Oh.
So
All the eggs in the same basket. It does make life easier, though.
I cleaned my house one day and then slept all day the next.
He's like, that's the most sleep I've gotten in like 10 years, bro. Like, it was a godsend.
Listen to a bunch of podcasts I have downloaded.
Oh, you're listening to On the Edge with Angry Bong and Nabs right here from the Portal House in Nixon, Missouri, all the way over to Nova Scotia. Right here. We're not on Exit 92. But you need to check out their shows as well. There's some good shit over there.
You know, Charlie Murphy died today, right?
Yeah. I was talking to Julia, and when they brought up his name on the radio, and then they started ringing off the movies he was in, I'm like, how the fuck did that man survive?
Well, he did a lot of stand-in and TV and stuff.
He was a writer.
I was like, how the fuck did he survive, bro?
And he did bit parts. He did a lot of bit parts.
He did lots of bits. That's what he did.
Yeah.
He was a quasi-star from doing bits and having an ultra-famous brother.
Right. The fact of his last name helped.
I think he was a writer, wasn't he?
Well, no, and he was a writer. Yeah, he did write some stuff. They were talking about...
I didn't know that.
No, they talked about screenplays.
Oh, so shit. Yeah, he paid the bills then. Yeah. Fuck, I didn't even know that. Now I'm gonna have to look him up and look and see who he wrote for.
He did a lot of stuff.
Well, he was one of the main writers on the Chappelle show.
Yeah.
No shit.
That's why he was also on the Chappelle show too.
Yeah, he was.
I did not know he was one of the writers.
Yeah.
No fucking shit. I thought he was just a cameo, so that was a cameo skit.
Yeah.
Oh, fuck, dude. See, that changes my whole perception of the Chappelle show. Oh, speaking of which, he's on a new tour.
Yeah, he's finally come out of his sabbatical.
Yeah, he's been on break and he's back out and at it. Chappelle's on the road, man.
Yeah.
So, check him out, and if you're listening and, find out if he's coming near you, go check him out. Chappelle's funny as fuck, dude. He'll make you piss yourself. You better wear some Depends or something.
He came by.
What does that fucking guy do in his spare time, dude? Because one of the funniest skits of all time, I used to work for the phone company, and he came out with that skit, dude, with the Verizon and the fucking slapping the shit out of the guy at the toilet. He's like, can you hear me now? He's like, boom, he starts kicking the shit out of the guy. He's like, did you hear that? Did you hear that? He's like, he just kicked the shit out of that dude. It was funny as fuck. It was, that's when I was sold on Chappelle. I was like, this dude is off the fucking hook, dude. He's over the top. That whole, can you hear me now? That commercial, I was so sick of hearing that commercial, and after that, I chuckled every time I saw it. All I could imagine was Chappelle kicking the shit out of the guy. Because he's like, can you hear me now? They had a guy... if I remember it right, it was so long ago. I don't know if Chappelle was the guy on the phone going, can you hear me now? I think they had a lookalike. That was a lookalike of the Verizon guy or whoever the fuck, whatever company that was. But he's like, can you hear me now? Can you hear me now? And he's in all these spots and shit, just like the commercials. And then you see him walk into a bathroom where Chappelle's taking a piss at the urinal. And the guy's like, can you hear me now? And Chappelle just starts kicking the shit out of him. And he's like, did you hear that, motherfucker? Did you hear that? I was like, what the fuck did I just see? It was funny. That's Chappelle to me. That's Chappelle Raw right there. That was... I don't know. We got 20 minutes left. Are we going to do a 2-show night, Joe? Are you feeling like putting up with me that long because I talk so much?
Sure, whatever, bro.
Yeah, because you're like that patient freaking trapdoor spider or whatever. Like, I'm going to run around up in the desert heat above the trapdoor and burn myself out and wear myself out, and then I'm just going to be like, And then you got the roll of the show right there. I'll be quiet because I'm all worn out. Today's episode is brought to you by Crown Royal Fine Deluxe Blended Canadian Whiskey.
Middle of the road Canadian whiskey, though. Wiser's better.
Yeah, but I'm a poor white guy in America. This shit's $25 a bottle.
I think Wiser's is around the same price.
Weisers?
Yeah.
Weisers?
Yeah.
I drank that before. I would say it had a good bouquet.
I used to drink Crown Royal.
Dude, I've got so many Crown Royal bags. My speaker mics are covered in Crown Royal bags. Green Thumb gave me a green Crown Royal bag. No, it wasn't Green Thumb, was it?
No,
it was Johnny B.
No, Green Thumb gave you.
Oh, Green Thumb gave me the green. Oh, yeah. Because he was like, green apple, blah, 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 green apple.
He brought it over.
He was freaking out, dude. He was freaking out that there was green apple fucking. I had never heard of it. And
no, it was right when it came out.
Yeah, and I was like, holy shit. He's like, dude, you gotta have a green Thumb, green Crown Royal fucking green apple bag.
Beer 420, you gotta have a green bag.
So I got a green bag on one of my mics in honor to Green Thumb. But
whole thing is about whiskey, when they decide to come up with a new flavor, it takes fucking years for it to hit the market. Because how long do they age it? I think they age Crown Royal for fucking 10 years or something in a cask, don't they?
Yeah, it's aged. Yeah.
So. I used to drink 5 Star when I was fucking young. That's the cheapest whiskey you can buy, 5 Star.
5 Star whiskey. We used to do the old Mad Dog 2020.
Oh, 5 Star.
That shit would dump you in the dirt, dude. You drink a couple bottles of Mad Dog and you are fuckered.
There's Silk Tassels and other bad whiskey. Ugh.
Oh, you know what the big thing in Maine is? The big thing in Maine. This is the ongoing joke in Maine. Go to Rockland, Maine. There's 3 bars there. Tie a bottle of what the hell is that? You mix it with milk. Irish cream.
Kahlua. Mama's milk, Kahlua.
No, I think it's Irish cream. Milk. The liquor is Irish cream, I think. You could drink it right from the bottle. It's Irish that creamy.
Coffee.
But that's Irish cream.
Yeah, you take a bottle of Irish cream and tie it to a rope on the back of your pants belt and run through the bars, and you'll have a horde of women following you. That's the going joke there. But yeah, Irish cream is like the biggest dranked drink in Rockland, Maine. Which the only reason I knew that is I was the galley chef on the MV Monhegan up there, which does tours and shit. It's a ship. And when I was there, I gained rapport with the local bartenders and the local restaurant owners because I had to deal with them on a professional level. So, like, they ended up telling me a bunch of stuff. They're like, yeah, the biggest drink that we sell is Irish cream. Like, we sell so much damn Irish cream. Yeah. We buy stock in it.
I like butter nipples, which is butterscotch schnapps and Irish cream. Ooh, we need to get that.
If you're selling something hand over fist, you're an idiot if you don't invest in stock in that company. That's, that's like a given. Here, I'm going to give everybody a stock tip trade secret. Are you ready? Are you ready, Joe?
Yeah.
You ready? You really don't sound... You sound like you're sitting already.
Yeah, I'm sitting.
Oh, okay, good. Because you're going to need to be sitting for this. Every year, the biggest stock trade day in the fucking world is the Super Bowl. Okay? And it actually happens about 3 months before the Super Bowl. If you watch the stock numbers were all drop really low, and all the stock shares would become extremely cheap. The reason for that is they just took millions, maybe $1 billion out of that account and just paid for a Super Bowl commercial. When they do that, that's when you buy their stock at dirt prices and you can buy mass amount of shares for a lower cost. And then the day after the Super Bowl, all that shit will go right back up to where it was. So there's your stock tip trick for the week or for the month, because I probably don't have another one. For the year. Yep, that's it. No, for a lifetime. There you go. Done.
Well, I'll remember that next year because the Super Bowl already happened this year.
Yeah. A good one, my buddy must own like a huge percentage, and I really feel bad that Japan bought the company. Who is it?
I don't know.
Budweiser.
Really?
Mm-hmm. He's been doing that for fucking 20 years, bro. Yeah.
A German beer company owned by Japs.
Yep. A German beer company that is manufactured in the United States for the majority now, for the United States, that is owned by the Japanese. We've got a Budweiser freaking processing facility right in Springfield.
Wow.
Yeah. Yeah. And there's a big one up by St. Louis. Huge. Fucking massive, dude. Like, more beer than you and I could drink in a lifetime in that place.
A lot of people here drink Bud Light.
Well, what fucks me up, bro, is that I know who the closet racists and shit are. And I find it kind of ironic that the closet racists play Sony PlayStation, which is a Japanese company, and they're diehard Budweiser fans, which is a Japanese company. Like, what the fuck?
Sorry.
Something's not right. Something's not right in the racist bucket, as I'm just saying. But anyway, I'm not racist against anybody, really. I admire the Japanese in a lot of ways. I don't particularly like the fact they're cooking the Pacific Ocean right now and fucking up the jet stream, and killing wildlife.
By the millions.
By the billions.
You think that's as bad as they're letting on?
Huh?
You think that's as bad as is being reported on the internet?
Dude, they try to send robots in there to patch the shit up, and the robots die. Yeah, I
was watching some stuff the other day.
Contributing is what they're claiming, is that it's contributing to the global warming epidemic.
Yeah, that's not what I was seeing the other day, but I see lots of stuff where people are making claims and all kinds of stuff, but
when the shit initially happened, there is radar footage that shows it, and it stretches from Japan like a giant comet, and it keeps getting bigger all the way over into Alaska, which is the jet stream that gets pushed down to us. So our radiation levels are going through the roof too.
The year after that happened, we had a rash of deaths across the United States with the Fukushima marker.
Political Scream. If somebody was to go back through my Political Scream page on Facebook, down in there you will find there's an agent, I will say, who gathers radioactive data throughout the United States in all the major territorial air zones, and they, through a cooperative, they collect all that data, and our radioactivity in this country has been steadily going up. But that's because we're just to the east of them, and everything that goes through their air comes to us. Everything that goes through their water comes to us. So it's logical, you know. There's no way around that.
Jet streams and ocean streams.
I did come up with an idea to contain those facilities, but it would take an entrepreneur or a philanthropist a price tag in the probably billions to pull it off, but it could be done, which would be creating these giant half shells. And what you do is you fly them in, and you fly them in at a distance. It's not going to affect the helicopters that are pulling them in, lift choppers, but they're giant cement and lead shielded half shell domes. And you bring two pieces in together, and the bottom part of the domes have these channel locks. So when it fills with water, it'll push water into these legs that push down into the ground and pin the two half shells into the ground, so that as it fills with water, it won't break loose and just let all the water out. And then once it's done, you just land this control tower on the top of it, and you're done. But it would cost billions. And I drew out the whole plans for it. You would pilot it in there on fiber optic. So your helicopter would have a fiber optic line that ran all the way from the helicopter all the way down to the cement pylons. And it would be something short of a frickin' spacewalk to align the pins on these two half shells so that they click together. And then once they click together around the facility, it's got a hose hooked to one side of the half shell, and it would just pump water in there and fill the chamber up and cool off the core. And then you just land a control tower on the top of it, and they can recontain it. But I'm beyond my years, man, and underappreciated.
Yeah.
You know, like two half shells on the top of an egg, you know what I mean? You fly them in, and then you click them together, and then as water goes up into the chamber, the water, the hydro pressure, pushes on the legs inside of the interior wall of that half shell, which has got little flow chambers in it, which pushes legs into the ground, metal legs, and anchors those half shells from sliding apart. You know what I mean? Like bites into the dirt. And you just flood the whole fucking facility, dude, and start over. Reactor 3 is allegedly melting down past the crust layer, so they can't even contain it anymore. It's heading toward the core of the Earth.
Yeah, that's not what I was seeing the other day, but...
That's the latest data I've had. And that is about 6 months old. I did a lot of digging on that because another thing that is testament to them polluting the water with radiation is that all the killer whales up in the north are like skeletal forms, dude. It's disgusting. Like, there's videos of it on YouTube. They are disgusting, dude. They look like Ethiopian fucking malnourished fucking because of the radiation. But
do you know how far Japan is from Alaska?
Yeah, but all that water, dude, they've been pumping that shit into the water for the last fucking, dude, radiation is in, yeah. That's a long ass time, and that water stream there is moving faster than you can swim. So that shit's all over the earth at this point.
Yeah.
I mean, the Pacific does flow into the Atlantic on the poles. So, you know, all that shit is cross-contaminants. Dude, the Pacific is getting cooked by Japan right now, single-handedly. They're pumping in the last...
The Pacific is a pretty big ocean, and there's a lot of water.
Yeah, 10,000 gallons a second, bro. 10,000 gallons a second. They're pumping 24/7 hours, 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. They're pumping 10,000 gallons a second onto those reactors that are spilling and overflowing because the chambers aren't contained back into the ocean. 10,000 gallons a second. That's a lot.
All right, well, you can continue to say what you've got to say over and over, and I won't say nothing then.
No, it's your turn.
Everything I try to say, you talk over me and say the same thing.
Okay, so, well, I reiterated 5 times, so...
I'm not saying nothing else.
Okay.
Everything I try to say, you just talk over me.
I'm done reiterating.
And what I'm telling you is what I saw, that's not the case. That the area around the reactor is the radiation levels are down, and they're almost ready to start moving people into the townships around there and stuff. And that all this stuff that you're talking about is all internet
propaganda,
internet hype, blown out. Like these guys that are standing on the Pacific coast and holding up Geiger counters and stuff and reading radiation, all bullshit. And I don't know enough of it to see where it goes, but I do know that there's been a lot of radiation shot off in the Pacific Ocean over the years. You know what I mean? Like a combined...
Yeah, it's not just one country doing that. Yeah.
All the weapons, the United States, France was used to shoot their weapons off in the Pacific. Like, you know what I mean?
Not to mention the fucking nuclear dumps. That's happening in countries.
Yeah. So, what's going on in Fukushima, like, as bad as it is, don't get me wrong, I think it's definitely bad for any area around there. I can't see how that there would be so much more than everything else that they've already done. You know what I mean? Which makes me see it as being blown out of proportion.
Right.
Like sensationalized. Because I'm weighing that against all the other nuclear stuff that has been done. You know what I mean? I can't see Fukushima being more than that. That's my benchmark I'm going by, right? You get what I'm saying?
Right. Yeah, I see that.
So that's my question to that is how come, and nobody can seem to tell me that, is how come these other disasters, all this other nuclear stuff doesn't seem to matter, and all of a sudden Fukushima is this great contaminator? That doesn't seem to pan out to me. There's got to be... Now, if it is all this radiation poisoning, then they're using Fukushima as some sort of cover-up.
Right.
You know what I mean? Or it's bullshit, and it's all being overhyped. You can't be in the middle anywhere. It's got to be one or the other, to me.
Oh, shit. Click your FM dials, your own Spreaker, listen to On the Edge with Angry Bong and Nabs. Angry Bong got the final word. That's how it works. That's how it works around here. BYS Click, where I been. Pay attention to your damn dial. We're going to re-air a show right here in just 2 and 2.
Alright. Yeah, that's a trick beat.
Shout out to all you fat ass cunts. Damn. Shola, bitch. They ask me where I been, man, I been in the trap. Corner spots and some cuts, straight dropping off them packs. Picking up them bags, so I be getting money. Stacks, and that's a fact. You wanna get it from me, man, they ask me where I been, and I been in the trap. Corner spots and them cuts, dropping off them bags. Picking up them bags, so I be getting money. Stacks, and that's a fact. You wanna get it from me, man, yo, where you been? Oh, I been in the trap. Motherfucking flag, I been dropping off the packs. Oh, I been getting money. Hustle, flexing on the bitches. Muscle. Flex, no, I ain't been coolin'. No, I ain't been chillin'. Now I'm trying to get this money, boy, ain't stopping at $1 million. No, I don't need no friends, and I don't need no hoes. Just the blunt of that loud shit. Sweet tea and some more. Bitch, I'm fully grown, but I need to grow some more. Ain't had a job in some years, and I still ain't going po. What you know about the muscle? What you know about the struggle? What you know about the hood?